Here it is, guys, the top 5. Let's see what we got. Coming in at number 5 is Aware by Front Porch Step. Recently, I began to take a liking to acoustic music. I've noticed that acoustic artists are often poetic with their lyrics, bluntly honest and open with their lyrics, or both. Jake McElfresh, also known as Front Porch Step, is perhaps the artist who opened the door to acoustic music for me with his 2014 full-length album, Aware. This album is one of a few that inspired my own acoustic album as well. Front Porch Step sings with an honesty that is highly attractive to me when listening to music. At the time that I discovered his music, his lyrics resonated very loudly with me, and he quickly moved up my list of artists I enjoy. His songs may be rather simple in comparison to other bands on the list, but there's room for that in music. It's possible to create great music with just a few chords, and Front Porch Step does that very well. My favorite song on the album is Drowned.
Don't you dare say you ever loved me or even tell me that you cared, 'cause you knew what you were doing and you know just what you've done. How dare you say you miss me?
Coming in at number 4 is How We Both Wondrously Perish by Being Is an Ocean. Being Is an Ocean has created one of the other most emotional and heartstring pulling albums of 2014, but this one may be one of the most emotional albums of all time. They have mastered the art of pouring their heart and soul into the poetry they call music, and the product is beautiful in every sense of the word. Before this album was released and I only had their first album, Dear God, to listen to, I found myself longing for an album that was as emotional start to finish as the song The Hardest Part is Forgetting Those You Swore You Would Never Forget. Sorry. I got my wish with this album. Being Is an Ocean tackles many subjects in their lyrics, but touches more often on the subject of love, specifically love lost or relationships that ended differently than planned. And there's only so much I can say about this album. I highly suggest you do yourself the favor of listening to the whole thing start to finish, but have tissues on hand. My favorite songs are L'Exquisite Douleur or The Poet's Cry for More. Number 3 on the list is The Night God Slept by Silent Planet. This review is going to be short for one main reason. Every time I listen to this album, I find something new about it. What I can say is that Silent Planet is going to take progressive heavy music by storm. I've never heard anything like them. Their mixture of the heavy and the ambient is different from any other, and their delivery is so musically enjoyable. With an impressive guest roster including Rory Rodriguez of Dayseeker and Sean McCulloch of Phineas, Silent Planet has created one of the most unique and intricate albums of the year. Please check them out. You will not be disappointed. My favorite songs on this album are The Well or First Mother Lilith. Number 2 on the list is We Don't Have Each Other by Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties. Anything Dan Campbell does is golden to me, but all bias aside, his acoustic, folk, alternative, insert genre here, side project Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties is absolutely incredible. This is a project for Wonder Years fans and non-fans alike. There is something for everyone. This is the album that tipped the dominoes for me in deciding to write an acoustic album of my own. Campbell said it in an interview over the summer that this project is his setting out to improve his abilities as a lyricist and guitarist. We Don't Have Each Other is a fictional story following the character Aaron West through the worst week of his life so far. Listening to the album start to finish, one can hear and feel what Aaron goes through as he goes through the events of the album. Campbell has always been able to paint the most vivid pictures with his lyrics, and this album is certainly no different. Despite it being a project aside from the Wonder Years, there are still references to the Wonder Years in the lyrics. One of the most obvious references comes in the opening track, Our Apartment, in which Campbell sings, I Had Lunch with Your Sister, a clear reference to Woke Up Older. Like Being is an Ocean's new album, there's only so much I can say about this one. I recommend this album even more. Listen to it start to finish, hear the story, and get all the chills down your spine. Be careful with Carolina Coast, though. Once you get there in the story, you may be moved to tears. I've got a three-way tie for my favorite song on this album between St. Joe Keeps Us Safe, Divorced in the American South, and Carolina Coast. Listen to the whole thing.
But mama, I'm breaking. There's no light in the dark. And Diane left this week. She said, "Son, look at me. I know we ain't been this low before. And I'm sorry, Aaron. I know this year has been hard. If you're hurt, then I'm hurt. No, I won't make it worse. I'm always in your corner."
This is it. Number 1. I always get excited when I talk about this one. Beloved by I Killed the Prom Queen. This is the comeback I've waited for since I was 15. Australian metalcore giants I Killed the Prom Queen are back with their 2014 release Beloved, and just because I love saying it, I'll say it again, the Queen is back. I spent all of high school loving this band and wishing they would get back together. Lo and behold, a miracle came in May of 2011, my senior year. Prom Queen reunited for an Australian tour with Jamie Hope, formerly of the Red Shore, on vocals. The following year, they released the first recording of Momento Vivier. There's another recording on the deluxe edition of Beloved, which is even better than the first, but I digress. They returned to the US in May of 2013. Yes, I did see them. And then released Beloved February 18th of this year. The album was everything I expected and then some. It has everything I love about Prom Queen, and it improves on it. Breakdowns? Heavier and more intricate than ever. Jonah's cleans? Listen to Kierligat, I probably pronounced that wrong, and tell me you didn't get chills. Lyrics? As good as ever. The aforementioned song is especially poetic. Good harsh vocals? Better than I could have imagined. Upon hearing Momento Vivier for the first time, I noticed that Jamie sounded very similar to former vocalist Ed Butcher. He sings on Music for the Recently Deceased, which was a very good thing to me. Jamie's work on Beloved is every bit as good as Ed's, if not better. He just improves their sound so much. In order to hear lows this disgusting and powerful, you typically have to look for bands a lot heavier than one in this genre. This album sees a couple guest artists, something that hadn't been done on either of Prom Queen's previous releases, When Goodbye Means Forever or Music for the Recently Deceased. Bjorn Speed Stride of Soilwork appears in Calvert Street, and Jonathan Vigil of The Ghost Inside appears in No One Will Save Us. With another wonderfully crafted album, I Killed the Prom Queen has won Album of the Year in my book, as well as Comeback of the Year. It's near impossible for me to choose a favorite from this album. I greatly enjoy To the Wolves and Calvert Street, and I really enjoy Bright Enough for sentimental reasons. Jamie dedicated that song to me at their last Minnesota show, but that's a story for a different day. Check out this breakdown, buy the album, and thanks for watching the list.